Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, how's everyone?
Good. Good to hear from you.
Let's see.
Good.
Hi, Jordan.
How are you, Jordan?
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Good to
Hi,
see
Jordan.
you.
It's Roberta Segal. Glad you're well.
Good to see everyone. I hope everyone's been well. I hope everyone had a great Pesach, and are excited for today's class. We actually have a special.
We had people on Zoom for Passover. California, Dallas, Miami, New York, and I don't remember where else.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to mute everyone. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I want to welcome everyone. This is our 5th Zoom class so far. Okay. So we actually have a very big treat today, and I'm going to tell everyone what that is. This is our, like I said, is our fifth Zoom class so far. But we've had 4 classes. I think they're all going pretty well. For those of you who this is your first time joining one of the classes, I want to welcome all of you. Okay. Now, once again, I've taught you this a few weeks ago, but I want to reinforce that if you would like to ask a question or add a comment at some point throughout the class, feel free to do so. But use the virtual Zoom raise hand button, which if you're on your phone, you access by clicking on the More button. And if you're on a computer, you'll see it at the bottom if you click on Participants. For those of you who don't know how to do that, you can kind of get my attention, but I'm hoping that you're going to use this virtual function. It's much easier to use. Yeah, that should be great. Okay, obviously I did not see you last week, but 2 weeks ago, we learned how to use the Apple COVID-19 app, how to FaceTime, how to navigate email. We spent a lot of time looking at sending, responding, and the difference between the BCC and CC functions. As well as how to type documents on pages, and sorry for that.
Oh my God.
I muted everyone for a sec. Okay, great. Sorry for that. Okay, yeah, so on the screen right now, I have what we did 2 weeks ago. And today we're going to be spending about half our time looking at Microsoft Word, which is the program that is kind of very similar to what we did last week on Pages. We have a very special treat, and I'm going to tell you more about it in the second half of the class. But we're going to be looking at an app called Healthsync, which I'm not sure if many of you have heard of that app, but I'm going to tell you all about it, and why specifically I'm teaching this to you, and why I'm including it in the class. So we are going to start with Microsoft Word. I think I'm going to go straight into it. Last week we spent time learning how to 2 weeks ago, sorry, we spent time learning how to format text, and how to print, and do all these cool things on Apple's Pages. And I mentioned that Microsoft Word has the same capabilities, but it was made by a different service. Microsoft Word is obviously made by Microsoft, and Apple's Pages is made by Apple. A lot of people ask me which one's kind of better, which one should I use. It's really up to preference and which device you have. Meaning if you have an Apple computer, I think Pages works best on that, versus Microsoft Word works best on kind of other PCs. You could also download Microsoft Word on Apple computers. Yeah, so I'm going to go straight into it. I'm hoping everyone can see my screen right now. Okay, so let me pull up my my computer. Okay. All right. If everyone can see all the way at the bottom of my screen, minimize everything. Everyone can see at the bottom of my screen, I'm highlighting it over here where it says Microsoft Word. This is what the icon looks like. It's over here. It also looks like this. Here's an enlarged version of what it looks like. You should usually see it at the bottom of your screen. If it's not there, you could search through the applications just by clicking on the magnifying glass and looking up Microsoft Word, and the first thing will come up. If you have it in your dock, which is the easiest way to access it, it will appear right here or somewhere on the bottom of the screen. Once you open Microsoft Word, you're going to see a panel that looks something like this. So basically, this is like the opening interface when you first open Microsoft Word. You're going to see on the left kind of a bar with a few icons, and then you're going to see a bunch of like paper-like documents. So I'm going to quickly go through a few of these things. All the way at the bottom of the screen, where recent is highlighted, is going to be all your most recent documents that you've opened. This is an easy way to access documents that you continue to open more and more often. For example, let's say you have to add to a spreadsheet once a day. Then it will come up to the top of the sheet, and it will be easy to access it. So all the way at the top, and you can scroll down for more, are the most recent documents you've opened. And you could also access the recent ones by on the left side where the clock is, by clicking on that to see more and more recents. If we go back to home, all the way at the top is where you're going to see all of the templates. You could also access these by clicking on the new button on the left. And here's where it has all of the Microsoft Word templates that are already made for you. The first one's a blank document, which is the most common one. It's if you want to start from scratch, you'll click on that button. But Microsoft Word also offers, similar to Pages, other templates like for resumes, for a book cover, a newsletter, brochure, and these are all cool to explore and see if they all fit your needs. So instead of creating a whole new brochure from scratch, you could use Microsoft Word's pre-made template, and sometimes it's much easier to do that. But for our purposes today, I'm going to open up a blank document. So all I have to do is click on the blank document. It will highlight. It will now highlight in blue, and all the way at the bottom right, you'll be able to click on where it says Create. So once again, you want to click on the document and then click on Create. Once you click on Create, just like Pages, you'll see a similar kind of format, except that all the formatting options are now on the top of the screen, versus on Pages, they were on the right of the screen, but this looks the same. It has the blinking cursor, and it gives you all the functions to kind of format text. So we're going to be spending our time on Microsoft Word learning about formatting text and how to use it. For those of you who have taken my basics class before, I've taken a few pieces of this lesson from that. Please stay with me. By about halfway through the class, I'll switch over to Healthsync. Okay. Okay. There are a few techniques that people use when they're formatting text, and I'm going to kind of go over the main ones today. But they're all found at the top of what's called the ribbon. And the ribbon is this long bar here. It has all these buttons. You could kind of hover over them and be able to click on them. It goes all the way across the top of the screen. And I'm going to point out a few of them today. So I'm going to pull this up here. So here are the 5 most common, what I refer to as text basics, which are accessible on Word and also accessible on Pages. I went through a few of these last week on Pages, and I'm going to kind of emphasize them again today. And all of these are used to make text stand out or look different from the rest of the page. So if it's a title and you want to make it stand out, or a certain key phrase that you want to make stand out, you would be using these text basics. So there are 5 of them that I'm going to talk about today. The first one is bold, and then italicize, underline, using different colors, and using different fonts. I'm sure most of you have heard of these. If you made documents before, these come up a lot. You could also format text and email, and they use the same function. So these kind of come up a lot. So I'm assuming most of you have at least heard of these. Bold, as you can see, makes the text more bold. It's more thick. Italicized, you see it slants a little bit to the right. Underline has a line directly under it, and different colors and different fonts are using different techniques, different colors. Obviously change red, orange, yellow, green, blue. You could use any color you want, and different fonts use all different styles of text to make text look different. You have script fonts, like you have bold fonts, capital letter fonts. There are all these different cool fonts that you could play around with on Microsoft Word. Okay, this lesson I've actually done many times now, and no matter what level you are, computer-wise, technology-wise, I always like to start with this, because we're all on Zoom together. It's going to be very hard for me to do this lesson the way I would like to do this lesson, but I'm going to try and unmute everyone. I'm asking that you please stay as quiet as possible, because the feedback kind of gets very annoying for some people. So please stay quiet. I'm going to unmute everyone. And basically what's going to happen is I am going to read the passage that's on the screen. It's the story of the three little pigs, if you could recognize that. And you can see that throughout the passage, there are certain pieces of text that are using the 5 text basic functions that I just spoke about. And I would like everyone to kind of call out when we get to one of those 5. Throughout the passage, there are all 5 of them. A few of them have more than once. I'm going to try and unmute everyone. If this doesn't work, then I'll kind of unmute you one at a time. But I'm going to start from reading from the top. And please kind of just call out one of the 5 functions: bold, underline, italicized, different color, or different font, when I get to one of them in the passage. So let's see if this is going to work. I'm hoping this will. Okay, everyone's now unmuted. I hope everyone can hear me. Please stay quiet if possible. Okay, I am going to, all right. I'm going to start reading this. Please kind of just call out when we get to it, if you could hear me. All right, once upon a time.
Bold.
Great. There were 3 little pigs.
Underline.
And the time came for them to leave home and seek their fortunes.
Italicized.
The first little pig built his house out of straw.
Color.
The second little pig built his house out of sticks.
Color.
The third little pig built his house out of bricks.
Color.
A big bad wolf
Underline.
came and blew.
Bold.
Bold.
This is a little tricky.
A larger font.
Size.
Italicized.
So blue, as you could see, blue it looks very different from the once upon a time, which is actually bolded. Blue is not one of the 5 things that I had on the list, but you could see that the text for blue is bigger than the text for the rest of the passage. So what we call that is enlarging text size. You can make text bigger and smaller, which is another part of using the text functions. Okay, Big Bad Wolf came and blew the first 2 houses. 2 houses, that's actually using a different font. 2 houses is actually using a different font. You can see that it has a little bit of a slant and a little kind of like, it's not as formal as the rest of the text, so that's a different font. Down, but could not blow the 3rd house down. The pigs lived happily ever after.
Underline.
And bold.
And bold.
And bold.
Right.
Underlined and bold.
Right. Okay. I'm happy that worked, because I was very not sure how the sound would kind of, I hope everyone was able to hear me. But I just want to mention that last line is both bolded and underlined. And basically you can kind of combine all of these text basics in order to make your text stand out. So for example, you could have a phrase that's both bolded, underlined, has a different color, is in a different font, and it has a bigger size. You can combine all these text basics to make them kind of stand out even more. I usually, if we were in the classroom, I would have everyone type up on their computers using Microsoft Word this passage and stay consistent with all the different text basics. Obviously, I'm not really with you right now, so I don't think that will work. But the last thing that we are going to do regarding this text basis is I'm going to show everyone a quick video. Which is going to kind of emphasize everything I've said so far and give you a few more examples of how to use text basics. So hoping you could all see my screen now.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
The foundation of text in Word is simple. Just click on your document and type. You can use the spacebar on your keyboard to add spaces. And if you want to start a new line, just press Enter. If you make a mistake like I did, that's okay. You can press backspace or delete to fix it. You can also use your keyboard's arrow keys to move the insertion point up, down, left, or right. This is useful if you only need to move a few spaces or lines at a time, but you can also jump over entire words at a time. Hold the Control key and press the left or right arrow keys to jump over one word at a time. There may come a time when you need to work with text in your document, maybe to copy and paste it or to move it to a different location. To do that, you need to know how to select text first. The text I'd like to select is the business name, H2O. You can see it here at the top of the list. Just click, hold, and drag your mouse over the text, then let go. See how it's highlighted gray? That means the text is selected. This little box is the hover toolbar, which gives you easy access to formatting options like font color, size, and more. There's actually more than one way to select text. You can use the method I just showed you, or you can move the cursor to the left of your text until it becomes a right slanted arrow. If you position the arrow to the left of the line that you want to highlight and click once, you'll select that line of text. You can click and drag up or down to select as many lines as you want. To select all the lines in an entire file, go to the Select command on the Home tab and choose Select All. Pressing the Control key and A key on your keyboard at the same time will also select all the text. Now that we know how to select text, let's try copy and paste. Just click the Copy command on the ribbon, choose where you want the text to go, then click Paste. You can also get to these commands by right-clicking in the document. For example, to cut and paste, start by selecting your text, then right-click, and
Can everyone hear this? Can everyone hear the video? Sorry. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna pick up from where we left off. It's almost over.
first, select the text you want to move. Now click, hold, and drag where you want it to go. You may need to do some rearranging to make sure it ends up the way you want. If you make a mistake or change your mind, you can use the Undo button on the toolbar to undo the last action. To the right is the Redo button. This allows you to reverse the last undo. And here's a tip if you ever need an unusual symbol in one of your documents, for example, a copyright symbol. I actually need to add a trademark symbol after the company slogan. All you have to do is go to the Insert tab, then click the Symbol command, and find the symbol you need. Now you know the basics, including cut, copy, and paste, drag and drop, undo and redo. Everything you need to work with text in Word.
Okay, great. I hope that video didn't go too fast for some of you, but I'm going to show you now a few things in our last few minutes of this segment, a few things of how to do it when you're actually on the Microsoft Word. So first of all, if everyone pays attention right now to where my mouse is, which is all the way here, it's big over here. Here are our three main commands: bold, italicize, and underline. Does everyone see that? I'm kind of my mouse is right next to it. Bold, italicize, and underline. Those are the three main functions we learned about. Right on top of that, it says calibrate body. If you click on the arrow, then it will give you the option to choose all the fonts. You can kind of scroll down. There are many, many, many fonts you could choose from. Right next to that is text size. You could either change it by typing in a new number, or by clicking on the arrow next to it to choose from their selected font sizes. Or you could also increase the text and decrease the text size by clicking on the arrow buttons right next to it. And lastly, over here at the bottom right of that section is where you could change the color. They give you all the options for that. So let me give the example. If I type in these three words, you first have to make sure the text is selected. That's very important. Same on pages. Once it's selected, meaning you click, hold, and drag, and it's highlighted in blue, then you could start editing the text. If you start editing it without it being selected, it will only edit the text that is upcoming, meaning your next sentence, your next few words will be using those text basics. You have to make sure that the text you want to edit is highlighted, and then let's say I want to click on bold. I can italicize it, I can underline it, and I can make the text size very big. I could change the font to that weird font. I could change the color to red, and that's kind of using the simple text basics. There are a few other things I want to show you before we move on. First of all, if a word, let me go back to my regular font. Here, let me make it bigger so you can see it. If a word is underlined, for example, let's say I type that word. Everyone see where there's a squiggly red line under the word. That means that the word does not exist in the Microsoft Word dictionary, and it's either spelled wrong or it's not a word. And if you right click on it, it will give you suggestions for what the word might be, or you could ignore it. But that's a cool tip if you're trying to kind of read through an essay or something and you want to figure out what's spelled wrong. It will kind of do it for you by underlining in red squiggly line the issues with the text. Also, for example, let's say you have 3 lines of text and you want to select the first line. If you bring your mouse to the left of it, you'll see the mouse will slant. It will slant in the right direction. And if you click, you'll be able to select one line of text. So let me show you that again. Here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. If I want to select the first line of text and I bring my mouse right next to it, you see over here, now it's facing the other side. Usually your mouse faces the left side, but now it's slanted to the right side. If you click there, it will now highlight that row of text. If I bring it down, it will highlight this row of text. And you can click right next to it to highlight a certain line of text. You have to make sure that your mouse is slanted in the opposite direction for that to work. Okay, 2 more things. First of all, I'm sure some of you have heard of the term Command F or find. It's also located at the top of your screen if you find a magnifying glass over here. But if you do Command F or Control F on a PC, then all the way to the top of the screen, you might have to move my face if you can see it. But it will say search in document. And if I type in, for example, tech, then it will highlight all the pieces in the document where the word tech comes up. And this is very useful if you have a long document and you want to kind of find certain words. It's also very helpful if, for example, you spelled something wrong throughout the entire essay and you want to change them all at the same time. For example, let's say you wanted to lowercase the word senior in this sentence and it says senior 50 times. You could do what's called find and replace. and type in the existing word and what you want to change it to, and then click on replace all. This is all done. The way you access that is by going straight to where you would find where you would type in tech. Here I typed it up on the top right next to it, the magnifying glass, and then replace. So that's a cool function on Microsoft Word. And last thing I want to show you is that if you highlight a word or a certain word and you right click on it, you'll see a long list of functions. Although about in the middle, we'll say Smart Lookup. Smart Lookup is Microsoft Word's dictionary. So if you click on that, it will now pull up on the right hand of the screen what the word means and a few links relating to it. This is another tool that could be helpful when you're using Microsoft Word. So just by highlighting the word and right-clicking on it and looking for that Smart Lookup button. Does everyone understand that? Does everyone have any questions on formatting text on Microsoft Word? Okay, I don't see anyone's hand up. The last segment we're going to do with Microsoft Word is how to save the document once you've finished working on it, or if you want to save it for later. Also, how to export a document, how to print a document, and how to send the document via email. Okay, Joe, go ahead.
Okay, so there are multiple ways to save a document. The first is on the top left of your screen. If you see File, press File, and then you scroll down to Save, and that will save your document as document 3. If I want to change the name of my document when I save it, I can press Save As, and then on the top with the highlighted text, I change it to technology class 419, and then I can change where on my computer I'm going to save it to, but for now I'm going to save it to my desktop. And then once I press save, if I look on my desktop, I can see technology class 419 right here. And then next time I want to open it, I can just click on that, and the same document will come up. Okay. A shortcut for saving it, if you don't want to go through the file and the save, and you can keep the same name for the document, you can just, on the top left of Word, there's going to be this button. I don't really know what it looks like, but if you press on that, then it will save your document also. Okay, next thing is exporting. If you want to export something, you can also, you press Save As, and then where you see in the bottom middle, it says File Format. You click on the arrow here, and then you see, and then in the middle, it says Export Formats. So if I click on PDF, then I can export this, and it will save it to my document as a PDF, not as a Word document. So Word documents are available only on the computer that they're on. Well, so if you send them, you can't really open them. But for PDFs, if you send it as a PDF, then the person you're sending it to can open the document as a PDF on their computer also. So if I press export, then that'll save it as a PDF. And then if you want to send it through an email, you also go on the top left. You see File. You go down to Share, and then if you want to send it as a Word document, then you press Send Document. If you want to send it as a PDF, then you send it as a PDF. So let's send it as a PDF. And if I send it as a PDF, then it will automatically open a new message for me in my email. And I can type in Jordan's email. The subject is Technology Class 419. And then if I press send, then Jordan will also have the document right here. Okay, and then the last thing is printing. If you want to print your document, you can go to File, same button, File, and then you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see Print. So if you click on Print, then you're going to have all these options. So you can choose different printers. You can choose whether you want it in black and white or in color. You can choose how many copies you want. You can choose which pages. So if you have a document of 20 pages and you only want to print the first 10, so you can say from 10 to 20, or from 0 to 10. And then if you want to print, if you want to do a page range, so you can say you want to print pages 5 to 8, and also pages 10 to 15. You can also do that. And then when you press print, then it'll print it to whichever printer is selected on the top.
Okay, great. I hope everyone was able to understand the ways to take your document from your own computer and share it to other computers using PDFs and Microsoft Word, as well as printing, exporting, and sharing. Okay, so that kind of concludes the unit that I prepared on Microsoft Word. I'm going to unmute everyone for a second. Please let me know if you have any quick questions. Anyone? Okay, I don't like that feedback. Okay, I am going to move on, but yeah, please let me know if you have any questions. Now is the exciting part, the part that I've been looking forward to. Okay, so I'm not sure. I'm assuming most of you are members of KJ. One of the members of KJ, his name is Jerry Kestenbaum. He's the founder and CEO of Building Link, which I'm sure many of the buildings that you guys live in have. It's basically the screen you see when you walk in with all the packages, with all the different colors. So it's a very cool system, and I've had the opportunity to speak to him this past week. The reason why is because he also created another application called Healthsync, which basically allows seniors to input all their data, all their medical data, into one service, like for example, their appointments, if they have certain conditions, their medications, their measurements, all that into one application. So it's very easy to use and very easy to manage and share. And that app is called Healthsync. My team and I had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Kestenbaum this past week, and he kind of walked us through how to use the app and what the purpose of the app is. And we are going to spend kind of the rest of class explaining to you how to download the app and the key functions of the app, as well as how to use it to benefit your lives in the best way possible. So Julia is now going to explain the basic functions of the Healthsync app, and hopefully this will convince you why we are teaching this to you today, and you will begin to use the app even after the class. Julia, I think you're muted. Oh, wait, I have to unmute you. Okay.
Hi guys. So, Healthsync is a tool that allows you and your loved ones to collaborate efficiently when tracking and sharing important health information. You can create a data set for yourself or a loved one and see how much easier it becomes to manage medication, record and remember doctor's appointments, track symptoms, share changes in you or a loved one's health, and more. It is especially useful for care minders and family members of the elderly or people with complex medical conditions. No more handwritten and endlessly rewritten prescription lists or forgotten appointments or appointment dates. Record symptoms with a start date and easily note changes in the symptoms intensity level. Maintain a list of all prescribed medications and supplements and a history of any changes made by you or your family members. Record upcoming appointments and receive reminders. List diagnosed conditions so family members and care minders are aware of any condition-caused side effects.
Okay. So those are a few of the functions that the app allows you to do. Julia mentioned like keeping track of medications, adding appointments, and many cool different things. And we're going to show you how to use that today. We're going to start by showing you how to download the app on your phone. So Joe, go ahead. Healthsync, you could download Healthsync on both your on both an Apple phone and on Samsung or any other phone. Going to the App Store or the Play Store. So please follow along as Joe shows you how to Joe shows you how to download the app, and from there we will go over how to use the app. Okay, Joe, go ahead.
Okay.
You have to show your screen.
I know. Okay. So downloading Healthsync is very simple. First, you go to the App Store, and once you're in the App Store, you can go on the bottom right. You should see a button called Search. So if you press Search, then you click in the search bar, and you can look up Healthsync. And then you click on Healthsync, and you see it's right here. And if you click on it, I've already downloaded it, so it shows up as a cloud but for most of you, it'll just say Get. Either way, it doesn't matter. You just click on that button, and then once you do that, it'll start downloading the app for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Give me a sec. Okay. So once you have the Zoom app downloaded on your phone, you are basically going to be asked to go through kind of a basic intro tutorial, which basically kind of tells you what the app is and how to use the basic functions of the app. So I am going to pull up my phone on the screen, and you're all going to see kind of how to use. We're going to start to show you how to use this app. So when you first open Healthsync, you're going to see this screen here. It says, "Welcome to the Healthsync app, a tool that allows you and your loved ones to collaborate efficiently when trying and sharing important health information." And then we'll ask you to start a brief tour, or you can skip it. I'm going to show you a few of the slides of the brief tour so we can show you the different parts on how to use it. Here is what the app looks like. As you can see on the bottom of the phone, there are 4 buttons. It's okay if you can't see them. I know they're very small, but I'm going to explain briefly what each of those 4 buttons do, and then we're going to show you how to use them. So the first one, which is all the way on the left, is called Current Data. And this is where you could add symptoms, track measurements, add medications, add appointments. and diagnosed conditions. We're going to show you how to add all of this once we get into the app. If you slide right, you'll be taken to the second tab, which is reports. And this is where you can build a virtual health report, and you have the ability to also share the report. Next, you have the contact slide, which allows you to organize all your contacts in a nicer fashion. For example, if you have certain medical contacts or certain categories, you could organize them in a very efficient way. And last of all is your profile, where you could have different data sets. For example, if you want both of your grandparents on one, or you want your kids to be able to also track your service and your data, you could add them to your data set. We're going to show you how to do all this. This is just kind of the brief overview. So once again, at the bottom, you have current data to add information. Reports is where you can see all your progress. Contacts is where you can input and store in an organized way all your doctors and your medical information inside a list. And your profile allows you to manage your data set and add new data sets, to have different people to have different people being able to see your information, and also for you to be able to see other people's information. Okay. Once you finish this tutorial, it will say, let's get started. It will tell you to go to the profile, and you will be taken into the app. This is what you just saw on the screen. And we are going to start on the current data slide. And Caroline is now going to show you how to add and change measurements, which is the first button you see at the top of the current data slide. All right, Caroline, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, you can share your screen.
Yeah. Wait, Jordan, it's not working. Could you share your screen?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so once you have your data in front of you, the first step that I'm going to show you is measurements. If you click on the little plus next to measurements, it'll show you three things: blood pressure, blood sugar, and weight. These three things you can manage all the same way. So if you click on weight, it gives you the weight, and Jordan has no recent weights. So let's say Jordan types in a random weight, like 100 pounds. He can then put the date and the time will show when he put that weight in, and he can save the weight. So if Jordan saves the weight, then a week later, let's say he gains 5 pounds. So Jordan can then type in 105 pounds and then save that weight again. And that way it'll show you your recent weights, so you could keep track of if you're gaining or losing weight and everything. And this goes for the same for blood pressure and blood sugar. And then if you go back to measurements, your weight will show right underneath.
Great. Okay, Julia, you want to pick up on medications?
Yeah.
Julia, is it working?
No.
Okay. So let me put my phone. Okay, Julia, go ahead.
Okay, so under the measurements, there's two more options: medications, and then I'm also going to show you current diagnosed conditions. So under medications, when you press the plus on the right side, you can add all of your medications in a list so that you can easily access and see how much and how frequently you take this medication. So for example, you can type in the medicine name Tylenol, or any other prescription or supplement that you're taking. And this is a prescription, so then you would do dosage, how much of this you should take. So let's say you choose this recommended one, 160 milligram tab. And then you can choose your frequency, how many times a day you'd like to take Tylenol. So they give you a bunch of options, 2 times a day. And this would tell you, this would save this medication on this app. It would tell you the dosage, the frequency of this medication. And you can add a note, you can add a start date and end date, and then you save okay. And this would save the medications under the medication tab. So every time you open the app, it would tell you a list of the medications that you take daily, how many times a day, and how much of that medication you should take. Then you can go to current diagnosed conditions. There's a plus sign there too. And you can add a condition name. So for example, you can add migraines, and you can add the initial date of the diagnosis. So when you were diagnosed with this condition, and the diagnosis code. So, and then treating health professional. So once you add your contacts into this app, you can add all of your doctors and their phone numbers, and then you can add under your diagnosed conditions, the treating health professional, the one who diagnosed you with this condition. So right now you're not able to add your treating health professional because you haven't added the contacts into this app. But later Caroline is going to show you how to add contacts into the Healthsync app. And then you're going to be able to add the treating health professional who diagnosed you with this condition that you added into the app. And then you can save this, and then as it showed before, your medications, it shows underneath your current diagnosed condition of migraines.
Okay, great. I'm gonna now show everyone appointments. I just want to point out one more thing with regard to medications. If you click on the medication that you just added, like you can see where it says Tylenol chewable, if I click on that, it will now show you at the bottom, first where it says change dosage / frequency. If you click on that, it will highlight dosage and frequency, and you could change that. So let's say I change it to now 3 times a day, and hit save. It will now change to 3 times a day and show me my history. See over here, it now says the frequency was changed to 3 times a day. You could also end the medication and add notes very easily. Okay, all the way at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see where it says appointments in purple. That's the one all the way at the bottom. If you click on the little plus, they all kind of format the same way to make it easier for you. You could type in the date of an appointment, obviously the time. You could add the place and the treating health professional. And just like Julia said, once you have doctors and health professionals stored into this app, it will be easy to input them in. And that's what we're going to show you next when we do contacts. But if you don't have anyone in, you could just type in the name and have it inputted into the information. Doctor's office, that's the place. Okay, and then you click on add, and it will appear under the appointments. So you could see how this is a very organized way of seeing the most updated information. And also, if you click on them to see more information regarding your past information, like if you've changed recently, like your weight has changed, or your prescription has changed, or the dosage or the frequency has been changed, it's very easy to see that on this app. Okay, so I think we pretty much covered that first slide, the current data slide. If we go to the next slide, which is report, basically this is the slide where you are able to share a full record of all the data you've inputted into the app. So the way this looks is all the way at the top, it will say start date and end date. For example, let's say you want to send your doctor a health report of your measurements and your medications. It's very easy to do that. And you could also do it, let's say you want to do it from 4/18 to 4/19. So all the way at the top, you could change the dates, but it gives you a range. And then where it says selective filter, here are all the options, and every time you click on one, you are going to deselect the option. For example, right now, if you scroll down where it says health report, you're going to see all the information here. If you start to deselect them, for example, let's say I deselect everything, and now it all becomes gray. There'll be nothing here. But I said I only want to send my doctor measurements and medication. So if I highlight those two, it will now just show my measurements, right? Weight's the only one we put in, and medications is at the bottom. Once you have the report that you want to send, it's very easy. At the bottom of the screen, it says share this report. You could enter the email whoever you want to send it to. You also have the option to click on the option to have it also sent to your own email, which is mine over here. And also very cool, it says add emails from Jordan's Healthsync contacts. Once you have your doctors and all your insurance and medication all entered into the contacts, you could just enter. The email will come up automatically because you already have it in the system. You could always add notes if you want to say, hi, doctor, here's the report you asked for. And then you just go ahead and click send. So that is a brief overview of the reports. It's basically a way, an organized way to access all your information and an easy way for you to share it and filter the results. Okay. Third is the contacts app. And now Caroline's going to show you how to add contacts. And how to have the certain contacts be filtered into your medications and appointments.
Okay, so once you have you go to the contact slide, which is the third slide on the bottom of your phone. You can click, you could either click on 4 of these: family contacts, medical contacts, insurance, or pharmacy. If you click on the first, which is family contacts, you can just add any name into your phone. Let's just Jordan. You could just add a regular family.
Caroline, let's do a medical contact so we can get it into the appointments.
Okay, fine. Okay, so for family, insurance, and pharmacy, it's all basically the same. You just add the number and you have them in your phone. For a medical contact, you can add your contact name of a doctor who's treating you, so Jordan. And then you could add their company or their profession, but since Jordan is Jordan, yeah, okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add their phone number. And after you've done that, you can press the save button. And now you have Jordan Mittler as your doctor. Then once you go back to your current data and you go to current diagnosed conditions, you press the plus button right next to it. Let's say you want to diagnose something for your migraine. You go to treating health professional and it'll recommend Jordan for you since you just added him as your contact. And you can save that.
Right, great. Okay, so basically contacts is a very easy way to add contacts and allow them to be added easily to your appointments and to your symptoms and medications so that it's organized more efficiently. You obviously could also add family contacts. You could also add your insurance and your pharmacy. So you could always have this app open. For example, if you're going, if your doctor asked, where can I send the medicine to? You have the pharmacy right into the app. This is all ways to kind of organize it in the most efficient way. Okay, last part of this app is where it says your profile. And basically this is where, this is kind of the interface of where everything happens. So all the way at the top, you'll see where it says your name and your email. That is your profile. And right under that, it will show all your data sets. And basically a data set is an individual's information on the app. For example, let's say my grandfather has a data set, and my grandmother has another data set, and my friend's grandmother has another data set. Meaning, every data set covers an individual person, and you can see how inside each data set there might be a few names. So right now it says Jordan Mittler, you data owner. I'm the only one there. But if I also, let's say I'm making a data set for someone else, you could add more people to the data set. So let's say if you make a data set for a relative, you could add everyone in the family to be able to view and manage the information while also allowing the individual to see the data. It's very easy to add new data sets and switch between the two. You can see all the way at the top where Jordan Mittler is highlighted. And right next to that, it says add. If I had another name there, you could just click between the two to see the different data sets and the different information. This app, one of the reasons why it's so nice and so easy to use is because of how organized it is, and all the colors make it look nice, and it's very easy to input information and share and view information. So by having different categorized data sets, you are able to manage more than one person and health records without kind of interfering with everyone else's. And you could also invite other people just by opening the data set and clicking on invite new members. So you can invite other people in your family to be able to view the information. Okay. 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 So I'm going to stop sharing this. Okay. I hope everyone was able to get something out of that, because it's something that I was looking forward to teaching. We spent a lot of time with Mr. Kestem learning how to use this app. And also how to manage it. So I'm recommending to all of you. It's a free app. It's on the App Store. It's also on the Google Play Store if you do not have an Apple phone. To after this class, download the app and start playing around with it, adding in information. It's very fun to use and it's very easy to use. So if you have any questions, please let me know. But this app is very easy to use, and I'm hoping that you will try it out. Okay. So we have about 2 minutes left. I'm gonna kind of sum everything up and kind of explain what we did today. So first of all, I hope everyone enjoyed today's class. We spent about half of it on Microsoft Word and half of it learning about the functions of Healthsync. Once again, I put this here because the class has been recording. What that means is that I at the beginning of the class, I click on the record button. That's a very cool function Zoom offers. And I've done this because after the class, I'm going to send everyone a link to the recorded class, just in case you missed a segment or want to rewatch a certain piece of the class. You have the ability to do that. I will send you the link once it's all done. Next. I've done this once before, but I'm gonna do it again this Tuesday at 7 p.m. I'll be having my second Q&A session for anyone who's interested in asking individual questions, because it's very, very hard to ask questions, but there are so many people on the Zoom. So if you have any questions regarding the class today or anything technology related, please feel free to join that Zoom session at 7. You could just join, at 7:20 or 7:30. You can come join, ask your question, and leave. It's not a strict session. It's for anyone who's just interested in asking a question. Our next official scheduled class is next Sunday, Sunday, April 26th at 11:30. Once again, I sent this to you, but here's all the information regarding the classes. I will text this to you as well. Once again, I say this every week, but there's no maximum number of people allowed on Zoom, so please share the information. I've texted you all the link and the meeting ID. Please share this information with your friends or anyone you think can benefit from these classes, so that they have the opportunity to learn about technology and benefit from the classes that I'm teaching. Okay. For those of you who have nothing to do all week, which me too, we have nothing to do all week, and would like an activity to do, here are a few things that we covered this week, such as creating a document in Microsoft Word, typing up letters and documents, as well as downloading the Healthsync app and creating a data set on the Healthsync app. And obviously our weekly homework is to join other Zoom classes. You all know how to use Zoom, and KJ and a lot of other organizations are offering many, many Zoom classes, and they're free and they're for you. So if you've probably gotten many, many emails. If you want me to send you kind of a list of Zoom links, I have that information. Please let me know. And also, you're more than welcome to send me suggestions and questions over text. You all have my text and email if you have any questions or any concerns. I'm looking forward to either seeing everyone on Tuesday if you come for the question and answer session, or I'm looking forward to seeing everyone next Sunday, April 26th at 11:30. Please reach out to any of us. Our emails are at the bottom left of the screen if you have any questions. Thank you for joining the class today, and have a great week, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We